Brian O'Connor is technically alive in the Fast and Furious universe. And no, that's not a spoiler, just the franchise being the franchise. But how the heck is the Toyota Supra from the first movie returning in F11 if it wasn't even Brian's car? And will the Walker brothers step in again? Spoiler. Vin Diesel is already filming nostalgic scenes, and I've got some theories, and some humorous critiques, about how this could go down. Hold on to that like button because the Toretto family BBQ is about to heat up. Let's unravel the Supra mystery. In the first film, that iconic orange car was never Brian's. It was a police ghost car, full of trackers. Obviously, right? He was undercover. The movie itself explains, the green Eclipse that blew up was his personal car, while the Supra was just an expensive bait paid for by the department. But in the end, Brian gives the Supra to Toretto as payment for that 10-second car debt. Here's the catch. How will this car reappear in F11? Vin Diesel has already shown behind-the-scenes footage of the same Dodge Charger and Supra being prepared, clearly for flashbacks. But there's a problema. The original Supra was auctioned for millions. Yep, it became a museum piece. Other Supras used in the films were repainted for 2F2F. What they're using now is obviously a replica. Will they get every detail right? And about Brian being alive. The franchise has been vague, saying he's living peacefully with family since F7, which makes sense considering Paul Walker's tragic passing. But in F9, they threw in that he became a babysitter? Seriously? The guy who dodged bullets and tanks became a full-time dad? Now they're pushing it universal. And yes, that skyline at the end of F9 was meant to prove he exists in the universe. Same plates as the GTR from F7. Cute detail. But tell me, where? Was he to save the day in F10, huh? Fun fact. I made an entire video about how the early Fast films actually understood car culture. The real modification scene, street racing authenticity, everything that got lost as the franchise went global. Want to see how far we've drifted? From those nitro-filled origins? Check it out next, or click the card above right now. It's a proper deep dive into why petrolheads fell in love with this saga in the first place. Now let's talk about how Brian could return in a way that does justice to the franchise. Vin Diesel has already revealed that F11 will have emotional flashbacks, and the Supra is the key piece. But how to fit this into the story? Theory 1. The Supra's legacy. That car wasn't just a car. It was the symbol of how it all began. If Toretto kept the Supra all these years, it could represent the connection between the two. Imagine a scene where Dom, at a decisive moment, looks at the Supra and remembers the pact he made with Brian. This would set the emotional tone the saga needs. Theory 2. Cody Walker as young Brian Paul Walker's brothers already helped complete F7 with CGI and voice work. Cody Walker, who's a car enthusiast and keeps his brother's legacy alive, could play a younger Brian in never-before-seen flashbacks. It would be a worthy tribute without relying solely on visual effects. Theory 3. The F11 Rescue F10 ended with that insane cliffhanger. Dom cornered, the dam about to explode, and Roman and Letty's fate unknown. What if, at the most critical moment, who shows up to save the family is Brian? Not as a ghost, but as a well-orchestrated surprise. After all, he's still alive in the film's universe. The continuity problem, of course. There are plot holes. The Supra disappeared after the first film, and Brian vanished after F7. But if Fast and Furious has taught us anything, it's that family always finds a way. If they can survive submarines and trips to space, bringing Brian back with good writing isn't impossible. What matters is that if the Supra returns, it needs to be more than cheap nostalgia. It has to mean something. And if Brian appears, even through CGI or flashbacks, it should be to close his story the right way. What's up, fam? Brian may no longer be with us, but his legacy lives on in every roaring engine of this franchise. If Fast 11 is truly the farewell, let it be with the Supra crossing the finish line and Dom delivering that iconic line. Never turn your back on family. But what do you think? Should Brian return via CGI? Should Cody Walker step into the role? Or would you rather they leave it as is? Talk to me in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future videos. I promise to read every single message and bring you even more epic content. Help me hit 1,000 subs. Every like and subscription motivates me to balance my day job with creating quality content for you all. Let's make this channel grow. Subscribe. And hit the bell. Don't miss out on future videos. And let's turn our passion for cars into something truly incredible together. See you next time.